Hello, this is meteorologist Andrew Owen with World Weather Incorporated. The release of the latest drought map for the United States. I'm going to take us through a video of what we saw recent days and what it's looking like through the end of next week for the United States, especially the main agricultural production areas. Now, here's a 7-day rain map ending April 21st. That is when the the data for the drought map was up to. And as you can see, there's a lot of rain and even some storms from parts of Texas outside the panhandle and much of West Texas, a large section of Oklahoma outside its panhandle, and into parts of the central and eastern Midwest. These areas received anywhere from half an inch to over 4 inches of rain in some locations. As you can see, a few pockets, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois received more than 5 inches of rain. These are some the areas where also saw some tornadoes, some damaging conditions as well. Elsewhere in the southeast, obviously, not a whole lot of rain. This region continues to suffer from some pretty severe drought. The Delta and lower Ohio River Basin also received limited precipitation. These areas are really starting to dry down as well. And same goes for a good section of the Central Plains, High Plains region. I'm going to move us over to the latest drought map. As you can see, severe to extreme or even exceptional drought noted across the U.S. Southeast and even in the Delta. We're still looking at some pretty significant dryness in the Ohio River Valley as well across the much of the central and southern plains. So there's just a whole lot of dryness out in the United States right now. Elsewhere in the Midwest, not looking too bad. Northern plains, okay. Here's the previous map from April 14th. As you can see, not much change since then. Some intensification in the dryness in the high plains region, the same in the southeast parts of the Delta and Ohio River Valley as well. And then with that recent rain in parts of Illinois, Indiana, we did see some improvements there. Corn and soybean planting is underway in parts of the Midwest. The latest USDA report from earlier this week, from April 19th, suggested that corn and soybean planting as a whole across the U.S. was near or ahead of the previous 5-year average. Soybean planting was 12% complete, while the previous 5-year average was about 5% complete. Now, one of the main concerns going forward is obviously the need for rain in the plains, southeastern states, Delta, lower Ohio River Valley to improve the outlook for this season's upcoming crops. Now, right now, I want to talk about hard red winter wheat. I know it's been talked about a lot recently, but the wheat is in pretty poor shape for some. As you can see, Texas wheat conditions were 55% poor or very poor. Oklahoma, about 45% of the wheat was rated poorly or very poorly. And it's about the same in Kansas, Colorado, and Nebraska, all of it hovering between 40-50%. So we really need to see some precipitation in these areas to improve not only the planting for the summer grains, oilseeds, and cotton, but also for hard red winter wheat. Now, we will have some opportunities for precipitation through the end of next week for the main production areas near and east of the Rocky Mountains. Right now, this is the European Model 500 millibar height anomalies. As you can see, we have a pretty deep upper level trough centered over the southern Canadian prairies, northern plains, and we have high pressure building on each side of this trough. It's going to help keep it in place. It's going to spin in place through the end of the weekend. At the same time, we will see a disturbance over the eastern Pacific Ocean make its way into western North America and eventually central North America through the first part of next week. So we do have a frontal boundary making its way across eastern North America today that will bring some rain, and this will be the next rain and storm maker for kind of parts of the plains, Midwest, and neighboring areas later this week and the first part of next week. We will start to see this trough finally start to shift further to the east later next week. We're going to see high development of a high pressure ridge over western North America. At the same time, we may see yet another upper level system make its way from the U.S. Southwest and into the southern plains late next week as well. Confidence is a little bit low for this system. It's pretty hard to predict these cutoff upper level systems this far out in the forecast, we might see some few changes during these next few days. I'll go talk about that here in a little bit. But right now, excuse me, we have that frontal boundary initially brought some rain to parts of the plains, western Midwest yesterday. It's going to make its way across the eastern Midwest, Delta, parts of the southeastern states today into Saturday, bring some rain and even some thunderstorms. Great for thunderstorms would be kind of this region of Texas, Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, northern Louisiana today. At the same time, we're going to be seeing a continuation of a snowstorm in the Canadian prairies. So they are struggling to get in the fields right now due to some colder weather and just waves of late snow for the region. That is a separate conversation to talk about. But anyways, you can see this upper level system I was talking about is going to make its way into western North America over the weekend, bring some precipitation to parts of the western United States. It'll be welcome where it occurs, not enough to really break the drought out there, but it will still be welcome. But as you can see, as the upper level trough over the prairies and northern plains begins to shift further to the east later this week and first part of next week, this other upper level system will kind of track along the trough and bring the next round of precipitation and storms to parts of the plains, Midwest, Delta, and eventually even the southeastern states later Sunday and into Tuesday. We'll probably see some spotty precipitation continue in parts of the southern and eastern continental U.S. And then, like I said, we could see that upper level system bring the next round of precipitation to parts of the plains or even Delta later next week, though confidence is a little low this far out, and the exact track this system will take and how much precipitation occurs. So right now, this is not an official forecast. This is just what the latest European model run suggests rainfall through next Friday morning. As you can see, a large section of the plains, Midwest, Delta, even parts of the southeastern states could see anywhere from half an inch to 3, 4 inches of rain, maybe even a little bit more. So we are looking at some relief for a good chunk of the main production areas in the United States through the end of next week. We'll probably see this part of the U.S. remain relatively drought free. These areas in South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota, even parts of North Dakota are still under a drought. We may see some significant relief in these areas. So the Midwest as a whole, outside parts of the lower Ohio River Valley, probably remain in good shape for early season planting and establishment of that corn and soybeans. We'll probably see some at least short-term improvement for hard red winter wheat development as well. The rain will not be nearly enough to break that drought or improve long-term production potentials, but it would not surprise me later in May to see some minor improvements to the condition in the wheat. Significant improvement for the drought is expected in the Delta. May not be enough to completely break the drought, but we should see some improvements in these next few days or even weeks for the rice and early planted crops that are produced in the Delta. Still, the southeastern states not looking at nearly enough rain to break the drought by any means. We will still need much more precipitation for this region to really improve long-term production potentials.